All right, let's dive right in. What happens when you take these grand, epic stories about human striving, like Goethe's Faust or Nietzsche's Zarathustra, and just flip them completely on their head? Well, that's what we're unpacking today. A dark, philosophical play for a world that's just grown tired of trying. A world that's ready for what Nietzsche called the last man. And this line right here, this is our way in. It's from a character called the Manager, and it's just so chilling. Think about it. He's not asking for art that inspires or challenges you. He wants art that numbs you. It tells you everything you need to know about a culture that craves comfort more than anything else, even more than meaning.
So our story kicks off on what's called the stagnant stage. This is this bleak, twisted version of the classic debate about what theater is for. But here, the goal isn't greatness, it's not even entertainment. No, the goal is to engineer a state of absolute, profound numbness.
And you can see the contrast right here. On one side, you've got the traditional goals of the theater, right? Striving, creating art, entertaining people. But on the stagnant stage, those are replaced with comfort, silence, and forgetting. It's a complete shift from wanting to engage with life to wanting to escape it entirely. This whole debate is led by three characters. First, you've got the Manager, who just sees the audience as customers who need a sedative. Then there's the Poet, who argues that real art is the silence after the last yes has died. And finally, the Clown, who basically just puts on a show about how pointless ambition is, juggling heavy weights that are actually made of hollow air.
And who is this new theater for? Well, it has a very specific audience in mind, the last man. This is Nietzsche's concept for a person who's so worn down by the struggles of life that they just give up on all ambition. All they want is simple, predictable comfort. They are the perfect audience for this new kind of anti-art.
But, this drama isn't just playing out on some dusty stage. It's cosmic. We move from the theater to an infernal council, which is a direct inversion of the famous Prologue in Heaven from Faust. And here, the devils aren't plotting evil deeds. They're engineering total, crushing apathy.
So, meet the board of directors. Satan isn't some great rebel here. He's sitting on a throne of cold ash, just representing the end of all effort. Lucifer brings a light, but it only shows you decay. And Beelzebub? He's the lord of things just rotting in place. And then you have Mephistopheles, the agent of this grand, slow unwinding of everything.
Mephistopheles sees the one last problem in this tired world, a striving soul, a guy named Faust, who still believes in becoming something more, in that glittering lie of the Overman. But Mephistopheles doesn't see a threat. He sees an opportunity for a whole new kind of game.
And get this, the new wager isn't about tempting Faust with power or money. No, the goal is something far more sinister. It's to prove that the deepest human desire isn't to overcome challenges, but to just give up, to take that fiery will to power and turn it into a quiet will to nap. Okay, so how's he going to do it? By taking Faust on a psychological journey, a step-by-step breakdown of the human spirit. It's a total inversion of Nietzsche's path to greatness. It's a guided tour on how to become, well, nothing. The process is literally Nietzsche's three metamorphoses played in reverse. First, he takes the creative innocence of the child and twists it into cynicism. Then, the wild, rebellious freedom of the lion becomes this terrifying, empty dread. And finally, the strength of the camel, which used to carry huge burdens, just collapses under the weight of sheer emptiness. And the end goal of this whole journey is a state called the long tiredness. And this isn't just feeling sleepy. This is a deep, soul-level exhaustion where the very question why just dissolves. It's the soul giving up, not because the load was too heavy, but because it was completely hollow. This entire descent into apathy, it's captured perfectly in this short, powerful little story, The Parable of the Gray Mirror. It shows us exactly what happens when the ultimate striver finally thinks he's reached the top. And this is the devastating message the mirror reveals. The man climbs the highest mountain to become a god. He looks in the mirror at the summit, and this is what he's told, that his whole journey was pointless. His grand path was just a long, circular walk back to where he started. And right there, his will to power just flickers out. Now, a philosophy like this needs a prophet, right? Someone to deliver the mirror's brutal message. So in this section, we meet the soothsayer. And he's not here with promises of a better tomorrow. He's here with a blessing for the void. And you have to see how he's the perfect shadow of Nietzsche's Zarathustra. I mean, where Zarathustra comes down from the sun, bringing fire to teach the overman, the soothsayer descends to the moon. He brings a cold, reflected, second-hand light. His message is one of ash, and his lesson is for the last man. And this is the soothsayer's prayer. He's not asking for strength or wisdom. He's asking the cold, indifferent moon to bless his emptiness, to bless the fact that he can't even carry the question why anymore. He's fully embracing a passionless, finished existence. And here it is, his core teaching, his sermon to a city full of tired souls. He tells them to stop striving, stop reaching. The goal is to become like the moon, cold, passive. And this is the most important part. Finished. The fight is over.
So where does all this lead? What's the ultimate outcome? Well, it's not a tragedy, not in the way we usually think of it. It's what the manager, back on that stagnant stage, called it, the great refusal. It's a celebrated, conscious choice to just stop participating in the struggle of life. These are the soothsayer's final haunting words. And they just perfectly capture the seductive peace that this bleak worldview offers. It is the ultimate rejection of striving. The best thing you can be is in a dreamless sleep you never have to wake up from.
And all of this leaves us with a really big question. Because let's be honest, the soothsayer's message of just letting go can sound strangely tempting, especially in a culture that feels so overwhelming sometimes. So in a world that can feel so exhausting, how do you protect your own why from being drowned in that warm bath of comfort?